And now, live from the basement of Benson Memorial Center, this is... the Camcast. Welcome back to the Camcast, everybody. I'm Cam.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Sydney.
Sorry.
Welcome to episode 16 of the Camcast.
Whoa.
We didn't know about the number until we were checking it while we were writing the show, and we're like, 16?
It's insane, guys.
I don't know.
Imagine this. You've listened to 16 episodes.
Granted, you've listened to them all.
If you've listened to them
Which is
all
a big
since
ask.
summer.
Maybe Dad.
You followed my transition from bachelor correspondent to co-host.
Her large cursus honorum.
My rise to power.
My rise to power. Soon it'll be the Sidcast.
I think so.
And I'll be the secretary.
My ultimate goal. You're
Sidcast.
the secretary. Just writes down the transcript instead of recording.
Completely emasculated. All right, Sid, what do you say we get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's get started. Okay, first on the agenda, Sid, I have a quick story to tell.
All right.
So I cashed in on the blue light glasses trend a few months ago, or I think over summer break, because I heard an ad that they help your eyesight or something. I don't really know. I don't know what they're supposed to improve, really, to be honest with you. But I thought, hey,
They're supposed to help you sleep at night.
sure, okay, let's go with that. But I am scared to wear them I'm scared to wear these glasses in anywhere other than the library because I don't really need them. But you look really smart when you wear these glasses. And so I'm like, oh, maybe if I'm in a studio setting, like if I'm studying, I can wear these and no one will judge me for it. I still sit in the library and I get kind of scared wearing them because most of the people that, kind of the same crowd hangs out on the first floor and they all know I don't need them.
Right. I mean, all of my friends,
Yeah.
there's a transition between me before my blue light glasses and then I ordered them and then I started wearing them and people are like, I didn't know you wore glasses.
You've changed, Sydney.
I've changed.
For the worse.
And honestly,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, they're just blue light glasses. They're like, oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But so
I guess I get an excuse because I'm a computer science major. So all of my non-CS friends are like, oh, that makes sense. You're a nerd.
where does Latin get me? Probably not very
Probably
far.
not very far.
Not very far, I'd imagine. But so Sid, I didn't know that you had these until about earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And you had them on. I'm like, Sid, I don't know, you need glasses. And you're like, they're blue light glasses. And so then I'm like, I have mine in my bag. And I just pulled them out. Sid, I've never felt that empowered.
We were both together in the library.
Yep.
With our glasses.
We even wore them outside of the library.
We did.
And I didn't care who saw me in them. I felt so empowered. I've never felt that confident in wearing something I don't need.
It's pretty great,
Yeah.
I've always wanted glasses.
Right.
Ever since I was so young. All my friends wore glasses. They the big pink ones, the half size
Polka
lenses.
dots.
Oh my gosh.
The Clark Kent glasses.
Exactly.
Those I always wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours kind of look like that, but
Thank you.
yeah.
I'm flattered.
No, but one day in second grade, I wanted them so badly to fit in with my friends. And I was in the car with my mom and I go, Mom, sometimes my eyes get blurry. You know that thing where you can cross your eyes and make your vision blurry?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to
So you made a concerted effort to
So-
make your vision worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my mom was like, okay,
Who
well,
hasn't?
we'll take you to the optometrist because I don't know what a 5 or 8-year-old thinks. And I went to the optometrist and they suggested that I get a pair of reading glasses. And they were the ugliest pair of glasses I've ever had. It was so bad. I barely even wore them and they made my head hurt because I didn't need reading glasses.
So it completely backfired.
Completely.
Could not have gone worse.
But I thought I was so cool.
Yeah.
And now here we are. both with excuses to wear glasses again.
Full circle.
That don't hurt my eyes.
Look how far
Because
we've
they
come.
don't help anything.
No. They're basically just empty frame. But I actually do. I love that they've been able to make a product out of this because I think it's so innovative. And not because I think it's actually helping my eyes, but because it's given a semi-reasonable excuse to people that just want to have a pair of glasses to look smart.
It's exactly marketed towards us.
Because it's marketed towards our kind. Because like blue light is kind of like it's kind of wishy-washy. Maybe if you're a science person, you know what it is. I don't.
No, they have like that little paragraph that's like, it can help you sleep better.
Yeah.
Like if you're on the screen all day. But I don't think
no one's getting them for that.
No. Sometimes I don't even think these are actually blue light glasses because sometimes they have the yellow tint or a blue tint or something like that. I still don't think these have them.
To be honest, they kind of hurt.
I know you're in the library and you're like, oh my gosh, these glasses.
Smile
I
through
wish
the pain,
I didn't
Cam.
have to wear them.
Smile through the pain. But it's kind of like wearing high heels for my head. You know?
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it, but
They make you look good.
they make me look good. Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Blue light glasses.
So what should we call ourselves?
Like a name for people that wear. I mean, I want to say frauds, but I think that's a little. That's
2020.
The 2020 Club.
The 2020 Club.
Ooh, I kind of like the 2020 Club.
But it's like we need to come up with something that indicates that we wear glasses too.
Maybe we could put a poll on the Instagram.
Yeah,
I
think we should.
We can make our listeners do the work for us.
What's it called?
I got
when
nothing.
People with perfect vision have glasses, just for the fun of it.
They get called out for being frauds.
Please call me out on my way to class.
Please call me out on the way to class, or don't, or just give me a little compliment, a little ego boost. That'd be
Your
good.
glasses look good.
So Camcast listeners, we have a special guest in the studio, Father Jack Treacy from the Jesuit Order. We are going to get him set up and mic'd up. So we're going to go to our first break. So we'll see you in about 5. Catch you on the Flipcaster.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Can I introduce the song?
You can introduce the song.
Okay, so
You can introduce the song.
So everyone has been posting about their Spotify Wrapped 2019.
Ah, yes, of course.
And
I
so
forgot. We were going to talk about this. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. I mean, everyone's posting it and, So my, I guess, favorite artist of the year, they told me was Thomas Rhett, which may come as a shock to people that I listen to country music. It's just Thomas Rhett and a handful of others, but that's the country I listen to.
Yeah.
And anyways, so he came out with this new album this year. And so my boyfriend and I have to call him out on every episode.
Sorry, Chris.
So we really don't like John Party because his voice is kind of nasally. I don't know.
I
That's
don't
just
know
my
who
thing.
he is, but someone's offended.
So anyways, he collaborated with Thomas Rhett on this song, and I think it's the funniest song ever, and specifically just John Party's part because he sounds way more country than Thomas Rhett. So here's Beer Can't Fix by Thomas Rhett featuring John Party.
Beer Can't Fix. We'll see you guys after the break. Take care.
You're all alone at a party. You want to dance with somebody, but you ain't got a clue how to ask. You and your girl had a fight, and now she's saying goodbye. She ran upstairs and packed her bags. It could be raining on your perfect vacation. You could be stressed about your work situation. Ain't gotta listen to me, but all I'm saying ain't nothing that a beer can't fix. Ain't no pain it can't wash away. From the moment that it hits your lips, makes those clouds look a little less gray. Oh, you could be lonely, or heartbroken, or hungover from the night before. Turn that frown into a smile real quick. There ain't nothing that a beer can't fix. You're on a lake and you're fishing. It's hot and all that you're getting is a little nibble here and there. You're sitting watching your team losing that championship ring, and you're feeling like life ain't fair. It could be situation. Ain't nothing that a beer can't fix. Ain't no pain it can't wash away. From the moment that it hits your lips, makes those clouds look a little less gray. Oh, you could be lonely, heartbroken, or hungover from the night before. Turn that frown into a smile real quick. Ain't nothing that a beer can't fix. It could be raining on your perfect vacation. You could be stressed about your work situation. Ain't gotta save it for no special occasion. Ain't nothing that a beer can't fix. Ain't no pain it can't wash away. No, from the moment that it hits your lips, makes those clouds look a little less gray. Oh, you could be lonely, heartbroken, or hungover from the night before. Turn that frown into a smile real quick. It might take one or it might take six. Drink it down, it'll do the trick. Ain't nothing that a beer can't fix.
All right, welcome back, listeners. We have in the studio Father Jack Treacy. Jack, give us a shout.
Hey, nice to see you.
Hello.
Broncos.
You sound great.
or hear you, or you hear me. I don't know.
Someone's here. We actually don't know who listens to the. We don't know who our listeners are.
My boyfriend, I know for sure.
Some people text us during the show, but that's our only way of knowing.
Yep.
It's like my
How about
dad.
your sister.
Kat doesn't listen
Oh.
somehow.
That's so sad.
I keep telling her to listen to the podcast on YouTube, but she hasn't
What?
made time. I guess I don't know.
So you have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
do.
Oh,
So
I feel like it's big time.
it's under Cam Bick, and he uploads every single podcast episode.
We have 15 on there right now.
Yeah. So this one will
Yeah.
be uploaded soon after finals.
After
After
I'm
finals.
not tonight.
No.
That's very optimistic. Not tonight. Probably later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday would probably be the likely upload date.
Yeah, it's good because
Yeah.
I always like to listen to them, even though I hear myself. I
Mhm.
always listen to them. It's like an hour of my time just
Yeah.
spent listening to myself talk.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, I never
love
get. They never get old.
Because I've always been told I love hearing myself talk.
Yeah,
Which is
here's
true.
Yeah,
But I get to listen to hear myself talk on the air. How cool is that?
I always like our NFL segments.
Oh yes. So Father Treacy, to clue you in, a lot of the show is dedicated to my long-standing quest to find love, and my many failures to do so. And so we do a sports casting we can't take that. Not during the show. I make the rules here. But we do a sportscast show making fun of our very good friend Spencer, who's the head sports guy here. And we do we play the NFL theme, like and we preview if we're anticipating I'm going to ask a girl out or I'm about to go on a date, we do like a pregame pump up talk like we're sportscasters.
Got it.
Yes,
Analyzing the situation.
It's always entertaining.
It's always good fun.
And does that help?
Yeah, it actually does.
Aw.
I've played it. I've listened to it before.
No way.
And we use our sportscaster like, Cam Bick looking to have a great game on Thursday, going on a date at Jasmine Ty. Here's hoping he can find the confidence to ask Stacy out from class. It's actually worked. It helps me. It's really helpful.
Good.
So, Father Treacy, you have, it's my understanding, you've married a lot of people at the mission.
I have.
You've been the minister to a lot of marriages at the mission. What's it like, marrying so many Broncos?
So I want to just say, as a Santa Clara alum, I've been kind of praying, worshiping at the Mission Church since my freshman year, 1973.
That is
Wow.
incredible.
I know everybody out there is doing their math, and yes, I'm OLD. Old.
I was like, is that a doctorate or
then
something?
as a Jesuit, we have a long formation. So I was 23 when I entered. I was 35 when I was ordained.
Wow.
And after your ordination, the family has a celebration. You call it the first Mass. And I told my parents, even though I grew up in San Diego, I said my first Mass has to be at Mission Santa Clara because that's so important to me. So now, like last night, I was doing marriage prep with 2 young alums who told their families we have to get married at the Mission Church. So,
That's so exciting.
to me, it's such a signifier of how important that space, that community has been and continues to be for them. So, and then this Saturday, I'm doing a baptism of an alum who married a non-Bronco, but we like them anyway.
Blasphemous.
But they're doing their baby's baptism, so that's neat to see my couples growing up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's to my understanding, most of the marriages at the mission, do they have to be between 2 Santa Clara alum, or is it?
No, either one of the 2 has to be an alum,
Right.
or a current faculty staff. Sometimes you do, a law student will get
Okay.
married.
Right on.
I've never had an undergrad get married, but
We know a few actually who have
Yeah.
gotten married.
Undergrad?
but you have to
Yeah.
have. We're not a parish in the diocese,
Right.
So that's why we don't do sacraments as a parish would. But that we have permission because it is such a significant holy place of worship for the university. As a university chapel, we have permission to then have our alums come back and get married.
Right, because it's an amazing. I go there. I go to mass every Sunday, and it's probably one of my favorite parts of the week. When they dim the lights and they start and they do the. Oh God, I should know what it's called.
Come to the quiet.
Come to the quiet, and in between each reading, it's.
The responsorial psalm.
Yes, of course. It was
I feel like I'm getting quizzed on parts of the Mass.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
I hope I know them.
It was on the tip of my tongue. I totally knew it.
Yeah.
But it is it's so calming and so reflective, and it puts everything into perspective.
Do you know? And in my role with university relations, I'm on the road a fair amount,
right?
talking with alums
And on
meeting with
the
donors.
high seas.
Well, and
sometimes.
that's another story. Yeah,
We'll get into that later.
I just got an email. They need a chaplain on a world cruise.
Yup.
146 days, leaving January 4th.
Whoa.
Take it.
And I'm just wondering if anybody will miss me. No.
Just
Oh
a
my
third of the
gosh.
year at sea.
I'd
Oh my
be back
goodness.
the end of May. I'd be back in time for graduation.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
People
Oh,
are,
but
like,
talking
wanting
to alums, especially young alums, they say the Sunday night student mass, very often, especially their first year here, they say that really kept me grounded.
Right.
Because everything else was so different. Sharing space with somebody, somebody I didn't know before, figuring out how to manage my social life and classes and intramural, clubs, everything that goes. That first year especially, there's a lot of changes.
It's a whirlwind.
And to have that just coming together in a community and just having some quiet, some reflection, some prayer, some music. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that at least for me, that was probably one of the biggest. That absolutely kept me grounded. Because it's, as you said, it is such a new experience. You're being hit with all these new extracurriculars, classes. Everyone seems to change a little bit from high school, and so your friendships, everyone's a little more mature. Your friendships change, and it's a great way to just stop and make sense of everything, and turn to God to give you help.
And I just want to say, in case some of our listeners are current Broncos, really spend time nurturing those friendships because, gosh, I graduated in 1977, and my closest friends to this day are my Santa Clara friends. I was just at a dinner with friends up in Marin 2 nights ago, called a friend for her birthday this morning, spent Thanksgiving with one of my Santa Clara friends and her family last week. So that's one of the aspects of this university that I find so unique is the strength, the bonds of friendship.
I can agree
The
with
bonds of you sound really good. First of all, the bonds. I heard the bonds of friendship. And I was like, that sounds so good.
that. Yes.
That's such a good clip. But of course, great. So could this message maybe go out to I don't know, prospective little sisters who are seniors in high school and are possibly looking at Santa Clara. Is that possible?
Is your little sister listener?
Not important.
No,
Not
no,
important.
no.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Olivia. So if you're listening, just
Olivia,
come to Santa Clara.
come to lunch at the Jezrez.
Come to lunch at the Jesuit.
Yeah.
That's all. I won't berate her anymore.
No.
So back onto travel. You're a big proponent of study abroad and of travel.
Absolutely. I tell students, I don't even care where you go.
Right.
If you can swing it in terms of units, in terms of finances, just putting yourself in another culture, whether it's for the first semester, or if you could do it for the whole year, I did it for an entire year. The sense of self-confidence, self-reliance just grows exponentially when you're in a different culture. I think the appreciation for different perspectives, different ways that cultures emerge. Not everybody has the American mindset. Not that we have one uniform mindset, that's for sure.
But a general sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I just know it's one of those key transformative experiences. Yeah. I think back to my year in Florence so many years ago. And those were the days before cheap phone calls back to the States, before internet. A letter would take 4 to 6 weeks in each direction. Wow. I made 3 phone calls home. My parents did come visit me, but this is it for 9 months.
Right.
And so we really relied on one another a great deal. And nobody knew. I remember the week after New Year's, a couple of friends and I went off to the island of Crete. Nobody knew we were there.
You could have done. You could have done anything.
Oh.
Arson.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did we joke about arson on air? It doesn't matter.
That was off air.
So it's funny you say that. My mom actually did the exact same program. She did Florence for a full year, and it completely has changed her life. She, to this day, still speaks very good Italian. We've had 4 Italian exchange students stay with us at different times. We have artwork that's Italian inspired all over our house. The little even the the containers for sugar and tea and whatnot are in Italian, zucchero, tè, etc.
And we organize a reunion every 5 years. So there are 90 of us in the program.
Really?
And it was through Gonzaga and Florence. So about half were Zags, and then 12 of us came from Santa Clara, and then others came from all different other schools. And the reason I actually went to Florence, I had intended to go to Paris because I had studied French in high school. I'd gone to France when I was in high school. Right. But a friend of mine said, Jack, don't go to Paris, go to Florence, because my sister's in this program, and it starts with a 2-week tour of Europe, and then you go to the Holy Land at Christmas time, and I'm going, and Maggie's going, and Jim's going, and all you have to do is take Italian next year. I'm like, okay, I'll go to Florence. I didn't even know where Florence was. But in those days, the study abroad program was Father Cause. That was it. You went to see Father Cause. And one of my friends, Fran, was his student secretary. So you just kind of went to see Father Cause and said, I'd like to go to Florence.
Is he still? I don't think we've met.
No.
Father Cause.
God bless him. He's a beloved figure from Santa Clara.
Okay.
Especially
maybe older alum will know.
Men's rugby. They know him. He knew a lot of the guys in sports, but he has died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that he's impacted so many people.
Yeah. And that program,
lives on.
when I think now, though, so 90 college students met in Amsterdam, and then we did a 2-week romp through Europe on 2 charter buses with 2 Jesuit priests. God bless them both.
Did they just have? So they had to put up with 90 kids.
90 kids. The fact that nobody was either hospitalized or jailed is something of a minor miracle.
I can't.
I would say that.
That's probably like Welcome Weekend all over again.
Oh,
but an international.
Oh,
just a complete managerial nightmare.
Yeah. And then the Holy Land. I mean, it was impressive. Yeah. I was in charge of the party committee, so I was busy because I was going to be Santa for Christmas in Jerusalem. I think because I had the wackiest Santa outfit.
Of course.
Kathy Johnson's red and white striped onesie, and then somebody's red down parka with white piping, and I made a Santa hat, and I had 4 elves.
Were they shorter than you?
And we might have had a little bit of duty-free liquor. And so there might be a picture of me as Santa with my arm around an Israeli soldier with a machine gun because they were protecting our hotel. I don't think universities had risk liability offices then.
No.
No.
I did not
It
expect.
was-
I did
yeah.
not expect
Wow.
this,
Yeah.
but I'm so glad it went this way.
Have to tell you, when I applied to law school
Mm-hmm.
a year and a half later, or the next year, I thought I can't put down that I'm, chair of the party committee of my junior year abroad. That doesn't sound all that substantial.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kept the duties, and I just changed the role title to cultural liaison, and I got into law school.
Definitely.
I feel like I've had the same struggle with my resume and radio DJ, because that just doesn't, like, talk show radio DJ just doesn't have any.
Cultural commentator.
Oh my
Oh.
God, you
No.
are a spin doctor. You're a spin master. Cultural commentator.
Do you do full resume reviews?
Are you available for appointments?
Oh. So yes, anybody thinking about studying abroad, talk to your friends who have done it. I'm sure. I've never heard of anybody who said, "What a mistake! What a mistake to go abroad." No.
Because we both had the privilege of going abroad, and it's been probably some of our favorite. That was probably my favorite quarter at Santa Clara.
Yeah, I would agree. It was such a cool experience, and yeah, like you said, like learning like self-reliance and how to do everything on your own, and you're in this other city, like it's something you can't learn anywhere else. So yeah, it was a great experience.
And I've never been to so many. I've never traveled so far in such a short period of time. I don't know if I ever will again.
I think students, excuse me, because I remember in our day, there weren't cheap flights, so it was all train travel through Europe. And we were in Florence, so of course we'd try to pick places where we could spend the night on the train to save on like a cheap hotel at the destination. But I don't know that I could do that anymore. I need a bed.
Yeah. I could sleep on the floor if need be. Yeah. Although, call me when I'm 30 and maybe have a kid, then that's probably gonna go. That's probably gonna go away. Speaking of which, we actually I was under the impression that you both had to be SU alum
No.
to get married at the mission, and that was kind of a selling point my mom gave me at Santa Clara. Was that so many Santa Clara students got married, and so I'm like, oh crap, senior year, clock's ticking.
I will say, of my couples, I usually do 6 to 8 weddings a year. Because it also involves the marriage preparation with the couples, it's a huge privilege. It's an honor to be invited into a couple's lives at this time. But it also means finding time to meet with them several times, plus the weekend itself. And then Santa Clara has so many different weekends. So that I can really give my all, I really have to limit it to kind of 6 to 8. And I would say of my couples, about half of them are double alums.
Both Santa Clara.
Wow.
Maybe 2/3.
Okay.
It's significant. Yeah.
And do you have any advice for marriage prep? Maybe to the guy if he's stressed out, because I've heard my dad's pretty much given me the long and short of it is that you're the co-pilot. You're just taking orders.
Oh,
Yeah.
not. I would say for the wedding,
Yeah.
a lot of the details of the wedding,
Mhm.
I say brides tend to have more interest in grooms.
Yeah.
But the marriage preparation, I mean, that's really when you're talking about your lives together and all different aspects of your lives.
Oh, you mean
It's-
that
it's, I have nothing to do with the other than the sacramental service. I don't get into
Okay.
reception details. No,
That's what I
a whole
thought.
different world. And the only thing I'll say there is I always tell my couples, don't let the wedding industry mow you down, because they have every way in the world to like get money out of you.
Right.
It's kind of like the funeral industry where, oh, why don't you buy this wood instead of that wood for the coffin? Don't you want
I love your funeral director voice.
Don't you want to honor your grandpappy's memory?
Oh.
I get you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to touch again on the cruise ship deal because I have to.
That's a huge issue in the Catholic Church, right?
This was Cam's selling point
Yeah.
on why we should have you on the show.
One of many.
Well, one
Okay.
of many, yes,
One
but
of
like
many.
the one that
Yeah.
I most remembers.
Of course. So of course, as a huge proponent of travel, you look for any excuse.
I do.
Any reason you can to be a cultural liaison to people around the world. Tell us about the cruise ship.
So when I was a
Deal.
young priest, I first was working at USF. And an older priest came up to me and said, Jack, I have a cruise chaplaincy over Thanksgiving, and I can't do it. Would you like it? It's a free cruise if you just say Mass for the passengers. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable deal.
Oh, so I said, let me call my mother, because my parents were still living at the time. And I had to say, Mother, what if I saw you and Dad the day after Thanksgiving and not Thanksgiving, but I'll be home for Christmas? So my mother kind of gave me, here I am, a young priest, but I'm, don't want to upset my mother. Mm. So it was a little 4-day cruise out of L.A. on a little 700-passenger cruise ship. I mean, it was like, I think it's in like a cruise scrapyard at this point. Cabins, thin little walls, no TVs. I had apparently a honeymooning couple next to me because I heard a lot from their cabin.
Oh, brother.
Uh-oh.
I, of course, was not talking to anybody in my cabin, so I
think there was a lot of honeymooning
I kept
in the
slamming my doors just so that they would know that sound traveled.
Right.
Yeah.
I tried coughing a lot.
No,
but I got hooked.
Of course.
I got hooked. And so since then, I have done dozens of cruise chaplaincies.
That sounds so fun.
I'd say it's a great deal of fun. I've also had some extraordinary pastoral experiences with people because I find people will come up to talk to you on a cruise ship if they know you're a priest, people who would never come into a church. Mm. But if you're scuba diving with them or doing a fitness class with them or just enjoying, jazz.
Wine tasting.
They're like, oh, my God, you're a priest. And then sometimes the story is, can I talk to you? Sure. And both the passengers and the most important Mass I do on the ship is the crew Mass. It's always late at night, about 11:30 at night. And these are, the international crew. They're from many different countries. Often their contracts are 6 or 8 months long. So they're really separated from their families.
Yeah.
And they also have limited opportunities to worship. So those services are absolutely the most important. But I've done Holy Weeks on ships. I had one cruise director, Barbie, who was like, Father, could we just do services on Thursday and Saturday and skip Friday? Because that's a really busy day on the ship. I said, Barbie, that's Good Friday.
Jesus didn't skip it, neither will you.
And, I feel a little guilty that we're steaming into Antigua, and I am going water skiing. But just, give me any time that I can do the service. So it's an opportunity. I couldn't afford to go to the Caribbean on my own. But when the cruise is covered, and I did get certified in scuba diving with our Santa Clara Scuba Club. I don't know if it's still all that active, but about 8 or 9 years ago, I got certified with 6 students here. And that opened up a whole world. So I love the Caribbean.
I do not know of a scuba club being still active, but we are approving a surf club in the student senate.
Oh, very cool.
And I thought they were going to be total dudes, and they were just going to have a laid-back presentation, but they're actually... It was probably the most professional budget request I've ever seen.
Wow.
They had figures and logistics figured out for the next 3 years, and one of the most well done Excel docs I've ever seen. And they were also dudes. So the contrast, they're like, we have our logistics and our exact budget planned out for the next 3 years. We also have storage space in Santa Cruz that we've already put a down payment on, and we only need the discretionary budget. They're very professional.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I would assume scuba is probably kind of the same.
Do you know, again, when I used to be director of campus ministry. Mm. And so I'd always go around to the tables, at lunchtime and see what was going on campus. And one day these kids were at a table and they're, Father Jack, you got to join us. I said, who are you? You really need to work on signage. Mm. And they said, we're the scuba club. I'm like, we have a scuba club? And yet we have no ocean. How does that be? So I gave them my email address, and that day, again, kind of driven Broncos. Hey, everybody, go to this dive shop, get your book, read the first chapter. We're meeting Monday night. And so I said, let's go for it. It's time to learn something new. Wow. And so 6 students and we did the book stuff for 5 weeks, and then we had 2 days of pool dives over at Sullivan Aquatic, which was hilarious. I don't think we really had phone videos 9 years ago like they have now, because we were all like oversized baby seals bumping into one another with our fins and our tanks. And then we did 2 Saturdays in a row. We did our ocean dives in Monterey and Carmel. which is stunning. And I was already set to go on a spring break cruise chaplaincy in the Western Caribbean, not knowing I was going to be a certified diver. And our scuba club was going to the island of Roatan for spring break. I said, hey, I'm cruising in there on Thursday. So they met me at the ship. We went diving, had lunch, and then I got back on the ship and sailed away.
Wow.
Hey Siri, where's Roatan? It sounds exotic.
Yeah, Western Caribbean.
Western
yeah.
Oh, wow. So that was a complete coincidence.
Yeah, complete. Complete.
I'd imagine at Sullivan, but I've never seen anyone do the scuba class there, but I would imagine that being hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I especially during spring quarter, a lot of people go there to tan. There are usually a lot of girls who are out there tanning, so the guys will go and like get the water polo balls out and like pass. You know, a lot of them haven't played, or like go swim. Out during spring quarter, I'd usually try to do some hard swim set and be like, I'm so tired from my swim set. I'm so exhausted. Look at how exhausted I am. But I don't think you can do that with scuba. No. I don't think you can show off, really.
No.
Look at how good my scuba diving is.
You just want to live.
You just want to survive.
So
Hey,
when
look,
we're doing the classes, the Jesuits in my community, I'd say at dinner, I've got scuba class tonight. Gee, Jack, is there really that much to learn? I said, only if you want to live.
Only if you
Because there's a
Good
saying.
point.
They're saying scuba diving is the laziest extreme sport there is, because as long as everything's working, it's fairly simple.
Yeah.
It's when things don't work that things go south.
I'm trying to think of lazy extreme sports right now, but it seems like scuba is the laziest. Go fig. Is it? Would you call it a sport?
Okay, yeah. Boy, now we get into this philosophical questions.
question.
I think in that there are skills to learn. It's not a competitive sport, but it's a sporty activity.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll call it a sporty activity. Pivoting. So you're very good friends with my mom and dad, as they're on the board of fellows. I think you are also on the board of fellows.
No, I'm sort of like the chaplain to the fellows. I'm the Jesuit who spends a lot of time with fellows.
And so, for better or for worse, you've had a lot of time getting to talk to my mom.
Your dad.
And my dad. What has that been like?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Really, just hilarity ensues.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when we get on the topic of trash TV.
Trash TV.
Yeah.
Your
dad. I mean, he's kind of a big trash TV guy, isn't he?
It runs in the family.
We do have a full segment where we talk about, well, it's The Bachelor when it's in season, but right now it's Temptation Island. But we're not going to talk about that. We said we're not talking about that with Father Treacy. But I
talk below deck.
Below deck. I had that in my notes.
Oh.
I said I'm not going to pretend he doesn't. I don't know about this. So my dad is a huge reality TV nut.
Yeah, it's reality TV.
I mean,
not trash TV.
Yes,
but it's trash.
It's trash.
How do you spin reality TV producer on your resume? Cultural enriching consultant, producer of culturally enriching content. How's that sound?
Get into family dynamics.
Ooh.
Yeah. Relationship building. Or destroying.
Or destroying, maybe in the case of Temptation Island. But Below Deck is probably one of my favorite shows because its setup is so genius.
Yeah.
They just say, all right, it starts off simple. We're gonna have a charter yacht service for people that are, for just people who have the money and time to do that. So already you have a distinctly weird group. And then all the people who are on staff are going to be under 25. What could go wrong? We're just going to put them on a boat for months and just see what happens.
And living in very tight quarters.
Living in very close quarters where they're pretty much only in contact with one another. Yeah. To me, it just reminds me of orientation. They're all wearing the same clothes. They're living in tight quarters, and they have to spend an exorbitant amount of time together.
Oh, no.
Ooh, are we going to hear another program then on OL? Life is an OL. Ooh. Have you done a little
believe the application
behind the scenes?
We've talked a little bit about it. We haven't done a full behind the scenes because it's kind of been a while.
Just completely off the top, not off the top, but two of my weddings in recent years have been couples who met in OL training.
Wow.
See, I remember I had also heard about that when I was doing orientation. So in the back of my mind,
Cam had high hopes.
I had high hopes.
Well, it seems like wherever the conversation goes, it circles back, huh?
Always.
welcome to the show. You're catching on. That's how it runs around here.
Yep.
Yeah. But yes, my dad. Going back to my dad, I think every time I go home, he's watching a new show. Whether it's Vanderpump, any Real Housewives show, Siesta Key, Temptation Island, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, Floribama Shore for a short period of time. The list just goes on and on. I don't know how he does it. And I think probably the most fun part is my little sister is a bit of a reality TV nut herself, and her friends are. My dad doesn't like that info being disclosed to a group of, a group of teenage girls who are, if they hear a 50-year-old adult knows about it, they're gonna ask him everything. But it is pretty hilarious once they finally learn and they come home and like, "Excuse me, Mr. Beck, I heard that you watched Floribama Shore." Could you tell? And my dad, he's very serious when they come over. Like, "Hello, ladies. How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm gonna go back to work." "Excuse me, wait, Mr. Beck. How did you like Floribama Shore? Did you see what happened between Devlin and Drell?"
Again, your voice of your sister's friends, really. They're going to love that if she plays the podcast for them.
Oh, yeah. It's just from experience.
How does he respond to that, though? Does he, give in?
It's layered. Usually he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." But then after, then they'll be like, "Oh, don't lie to me, Mr. Beck. You know that you watch." And he's like, "Yes, I do." And then he'll eventually just cave, and then he'll come to them. So there are a few people in my little sister's inner circle where they'll come visit, and he'll be like, "Oh my God, Stacy, did you hear about Devlin and Shania? Oh my God, so much drama, right?" And so then he builds a rapport with them through reality TV, and I think he actually connects with his daughter and his daughter's friends probably better, or at least more creatively than a lot of dads through reality TV.
Wow.
So Sydney, what do you watch?
Well,
Do you watch any reality TV?
yes. When I was,
yes.
Well, this summer, Cam started his podcast, and I would call in as the Bachelor correspondent. So while that was happening, and now I've been upgraded to co-host. So now we talk about The Bachelor whenever we can. We are watching Temptation Island together.
Yes, we are.
I'm trying to think of other reality TV shows that I watch. My mom watches a lot. She watches 90 Day Fiancé. She records
Maybe
those
you could do
episodes.
those weddings.
Oh my gosh.
Beyonce.
So when I'm home, I watch them with her. Around here, it's just The Bachelor for me, though.
We've had big Bachelor watch parties in the McLaughlin
this
Lounge.
is how we met. Was hosting Bachelor watch parties in second floor McWalsh Lounge every Monday night. So it's a fun time.
Because kind of like my dad, I would try to kind of keep it a secret, and then I would tell a few people, and then
we just became best friends.
Well, we became best friends, and then we just kind of, The Bachelor just kind of became part of our personality.
Yep.
So tell me, I have watched plenty of reality TV. I've never watched a Bachelor or Bachelorette, but have they actually produced couples who've gotten married, or
yes,
it's a minority, definitely. I would say definitely more couples end up not together. It ends in them not being together way more often than they do, but there actually are a few married couples still.
Yeah, but then not from the actual show. There's this Bachelor Nation, which is basically all of the alums that have been on the show, whether they're the Bachelor or just a contestant, and they get together. And so some of them have actually gotten married from that and are together and all that. Some have kids now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
And the show will show them off like crazy because they're like, see? It works. See?
Yeah, so on Bachelor in Paradise, they're like, this is your standard.
This is the This is the standard.
And then they air the wedding on TV.
We're trying to help you find love in the most dramatic way possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's The Bachelor for you.
I was the Bachelorette for Halloween this year.
Right.
It was
I remember
really
that.
great. I had a rose and everything.
You had a great costume.
Thank you.
I went as PETA from the Hunger Games I
He
don't know.
carried
Okay.
around a loaf of
I
bread.
never watched the
You
Hunger
never
Games.
okay.
I didn't have HBO or something. I don't know. I
Okay.
missed it, and then you can't like start in halfway.
Oh, why? We keep
Again.
getting calls in the studio, dog. I can't answer that on air. I don't have clearance for that. But in long story short, Peter Malark is the kind of the smoldering love interest
Bread
of the
boy.
movie. And he's well, that's another way of
He
putting it.
works at a
Sydney.
bakery.
I love smoldering love interest. Like back to camp.
He happens to work. He happens to be a baker. He is at his dad's bakery, so he's being a loyal son. But I've been told I look like him,
Yes.
and so I just put it to rest and made a costume, and carried around a loaf of bread.
Even though you have celiac.
And I can't eat the gluten.
So I have to tell you a Halloween story on campus. I mean, when I came back to Santa Clara 13 years ago to be director of campus ministry, I said, I'd like to live in one of the residence halls. And they said, well, we have 2 places where we could put a Jesuit, in Nobley Hall, which will be juniors and seniors, singles, or in Swig. I said, put me in Swig.
Oh, brother.
No.
Oh no. No.
It was a great experience of the RLC. I was on a top floor apartment facing all the off-campus housing.
Oh.
You've
So it was
seen
just
too much.
I heard everything on Market Street at all times. So Halloween happened to be a Saturday, and I wasn't even thinking. And I had brought a Jesuit community car back to the Jesuit residence, on the dark side of campus. And I'm walking across campus to Swig to go, naively I thought, to go to sleep. 11:30.
No.
And as I am walking down Alviso, crossing the Mission Church, St. Joe's, the Alumni House, this din is just getting louder and louder. As I walk into the Kennedy Mall, all my Swig residents are just pouring out in costume to go to their Halloween parties.
Oh my gosh.
And I just thought, I'm not going to sleep.
No.
And I didn't. No.
That was the McLaughlin experience for a lot of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I live off campus, like a little, just spaced out enough from that area where I don't have to hear it. But the amount of times we've heard "Wake up, Swig" at 2 a.m. are too many to count.
I will say, once they renovated Swig, put in the double pane windows and all, it's much better. But I was in the pre-renovated Swig with windows that didn't quite close.
That's
Mother-
unfortunate.
Mother of God.
Oh,
I can. That's okay. To say.
we brought it back to religion, have we?
It's okay to bring it. That's okay to say on air. I can say Mother of
Absolutely.
God.
Absolutely.
I cannot imagine. Ironically, I prefed Swig coming into Santa Clara because I didn't. My mom just kind of told me it was the social dorm.
Absolutely. No,
Which it is.
it's a rite of passage to have the Swig experience.
But
I lived in Dunn for 2 years. Loved my
Respectable.
Dunn experience.
yeah, my sister lived there for a year. I got to visit her. It was very fun. It's kind of a bit of both, where it's very social, but it's also they have a little. They have a sense of when to go to sleep. They have a sense of sanity in there. It's nice.
And where'd you live on campus?
McWalsh.
Oh,
McLaughlin
course, yeah.
Walsh,
Yes.
host of the second floor
Walsh.
bachelor watch parties
Yes.
every week.
Yes.
Every week it was on. They were very fun. Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. We have
This was great fun. Thank
This
you.
was-
And nice to meet you,
Nice to
Sydney.
meet you too.
Father Treacy. This was great fun. We would love to have you back on the show again. We can discuss those
Absolutely.
details later.
Can I just say one thing before I go?
Absolutely.
As a former campus ministry director, and with finals coming up,
Mm.
students, campus ministry has a phenomenal massage chair. You don't even have to talk about God, but just come in, say, is the massage chair free? Put on your iTunes, tune out, just have a little oasis moment.
Wow.
But also, wouldn't be bad to do a little prayer of gratitude for the quarter, too.
That's how the Jesuits get you. They say, "Hey, we have a massage chair and free food."
True.
You ever wonder about God? Father Treacy,
Who
always a
created
pleasure.
this massage chair?
Well, God did, didn't he? Who created the creator of the massage chair? On that note, Father
Okay.
Treacy,
Thank you.
a blast
Thank you.
to have you on.
All right. And blessings on finals, everybody. You've learned a lot this quarter. Don't stress.
Don't stress. All right, we're gonna go to a short break, and then we're gonna conclude with the Temptation Island recap. Stay tuned.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that'll talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Sure, it's Christmas once more.
All right, casters, that interview went pretty long. Pretty fun, though.
I think it was worth it.
I think it was worth it. We still got to recap Temptation Island a little bit before we get out of here.
We'll do it real quick.
We're not letting you out without a little Temptation Island recap. Without further ado, it's time to get tempted, casters! All right, haha, yeah!
That's so loud.
Starting off with couple number 1, Ashley and Casey. Ashley was caught crying around the villa 24/7, while Casey was caught flirting with other girls. She's caught in a, quote, love triangle between Ben and this Deke. His words, not mine. Whilst Casey asks another girl out, now right in front of Peyton, who he had on the previous date. So he essentially says he's gonna cheat on the girl he cheated with. That's messed up. Now we're on to Asanika and Gavin. Asanika keeps having some meaningful and deep conversations with Kareem. That's a novel concept on this show. While Gavin sucks on toes at the boys' house party. That's all we have to say about that.
That's it.
Meanwhile, between Ashley and Rick, Ashley is currently coming to grips with her guilt for cheating on Rick. Literally the first night she met with some guy named KB. Wow, good going there, Ashley. Well, she tries to form a meaningful connection with him. Come on, son, you know you ain't making that happen. Meanwhile, Rick is surprisingly taking it slow with Medina, turning himself away from her advances while she all but throws herself at him. Sid, any comment on that?
No.
No.
The last one.
Meanwhile, the spiciest one, Kate and David. Oh boy. Kate is still grappling with David not giving her enough compliments and flirting with some girl named Tanita. Apparently that's a name. Meanwhile, she's in luck. He didn't even get with Tanita. He did get with 2 other girls at the same time, though.
At the same time.
At the same time.
What's 1 + 1?
3. Yeah, I'm not fronting you, casters. He gets with 2 girls that he basically just met. He's with girl. He's with girl number 1, and then in comes girl number 2. Like, hey, can I? He's like, hey, you want to join in? She's like, yup, why not? Because that's this crazy ass show, and that's what we got to deal with.
And that's our Temptation Island episode 2 through 4 recap.
That's our recap. 1 sec. You want a piece of my heart? I'm gonna play this song before my midterm. Yes, that's our power recap of Temptation Island. Wow, casters, it has been a whirlwind. Before we sign off and before we go into the finals week whirlwind, we just want to wish you all a merry finals week.
Happy finals week, everyone.
Maybe also a merry Advent. Also, I don't know.
Yeah. Have you been doing your Advent calendar?
No, I've not.
I know. I need to open my doors.
I don't have one actually.
My mom got me one.
I gotta go get one or make one. But anyway, casters.
It's been real.
It's been real. Good
we
luck.
We need to go study.
Study hard. Good luck on finals. You're all gonna do great because since you listen to the show, you're obviously very, very smart.
Yeah, because we all listen to trash TV or watch trash
reality TV. We are liaisons of culture.
Yes, we are.
We are enrichers of culture.
Mm-hmm.
Cultural commentators.
Cultural commentators.
And on that note, casters,
boom.
I am Cam.
I'm Sydney.
And we are signing off. Cast on.